A long time ago, on the continent of Arana, the once magnificent empire of stars had crumbled into oblivion, paralyzed by its own power-hungry legions, and torn asunder by an ancient and merciless evil. But the 10th Legion, the dying empire's most valiant soldiers and most trusted, withdrew far to the west, to a land called Ebb, seeking to preserve what their empire had lost. Here, in the rugged mountains and the rich valleys of their new home, they founded the Kingdom of Ebb, a kingdom that has embraced peace and freedom for 300 years. But there was a price. Few now remember the evil that opposed them. Fewer still recall the dark sorceries cast to save them. And none could foretell that one humble farmer would stand between a vengeance from the past and the survival of the kingdom.
Attacking! I couldn't hold them back. You have long been my friend, but you can do nothing more for Old Nork. Go to Stonebridge. Find Giorn. If the Krug have elsewhere betrayed us, your bravery will be needed by the king. Go.
With only a name given by a dying friend, our beleaguered hero entered the battle-worn gates of Stonebridge. Who could know then that the arrival of one humble farmer from the fields would change the very course of the kingdom? Our hero emerged from the wilderness with a message of warning for the Overseer, and a spirit strengthened to endure the travails that were yet to unfold.
I've been suspended for what? Nearly a month now. Most astonishing. Their powers have grown. I should have been paying closer attention. I should have foreseen this. Blast it! The forces behind this violence will be searching for my warding staff. That's the magical artifact they're after. Thanks to me, they believe it to have powers it doesn't actually possess. But it could still be a terrible weapon in the wrong hands. Must be recovered.
With the Grand Mage freed from his icy tomb, it was now clear that there was an evil hand behind the forces overwhelming the kingdom. Our hero went forth seeking clues to the whereabouts of the warding staff.
Wretched Krug! Wretched invaders! Everything wrecked! Sek no have magic staff. Stupid human wizard no have staff. Warding staff ours. Goblins, you all pay! Ancient evil and humans fight now! Goblins watch! Goblins laugh! Goblins take what's left!
Having defeated the goblin menace in its very lair, our hero stood with warding staff securely in hand. But the ancient evil remained elusive. Time was running out, and answers were in short supply. The truth would have to be found further east, toward Fortress Croth.
At last! An enemy who doesn't cower behind walls. I thought I'd die of tedium fighting these pathetic legionnaires. Let us see if your mettle is greater than that of your worthless kin.
With Gresh died the greatest threat to Fortress Croth, but the grave danger of a resurgence of this manner of ancient evil weighed heavily on our hero's mind. The surrender of the Droog meant the safety of the kingdom had been secured, but a warning had to be delivered to the throne before the revenant sect could succeed in their mysterious plot. We live on borrowed time, so you must listen well and act quickly if we are to survive. 300 years ago, our ancestors entombed Commander Gom with the remnants of his Sek army, following their craven surrender to the 10th Legion. Rather than obliterate the remains of their race, our forefathers magically bound them, one by one, in the Vault of Eternity, as a sentence for their savagery against our people. It would appear the magical wards have weakened during Merrick's long absence. The sect that imprisoned me here somehow breached our castle defenses and caught us unaware. Unlike the rest of my retinue, I was spared. But I'm sure they were simply holding me for some unspeakable sacrifice. Were it not for your rescue, they would eventually have figured out that I hold this key. Within the bowels of this castle, there is a hidden sanctuary known as the Chamber of Stars. If what you say is true, the sect must be plotting to acquire the Imperial relics concealed therein. They could possibly hold the power to revive their Dark Lord Gom and the rest of their kin. You should hurry to retrieve the artifacts from the chamber to safeguard them. If any of them can be of use to you, so much the better. Once the artifacts are secure, I charge you to seek out and vanquish the remaining Sek before their dark vengeance can be unleashed on the good folk of Ebb. You have become our last bastion of hope. I shall remain here and pray for the deliverance of our kingdom at your hands. May Azunai bless and guard you in your crusade. heroes of Ebb.
Tried, but Swanee didn't give it away, did he? No, he's a good boy, isn't he? Oh, Red Eyes, Evil Eyes. They tried to crack his head with magic, but he's got daisies for brains now, don't he? Don't he? They wanted to know where the Chamber of Stars was, those Sec devils, but Swanee wouldn't tell them. The secret chamber with all the king's magical goodies. You nearly tricked old Swanee, but I'll not give it away. Never. Bloody Sec traitors.
Our hero stepped forth from the Chamber of Stars a fearless champion who would valiantly stride into the army of horrors that lie in wait, determined to crush an eternity of madness before it could be unleashed.
So, this is the best the kingdom has to send against me. Did Merrick tell you that he came to us seeking his misplaced staff? And did he tell you that without it, he could not revitalize the wards binding us? And it was only a matter of time until we would all be free. Your ancestors put us into this hole, then told fairy tales about us to frighten their children. Eventually, you forgot that the Sec were once real, a power to be reckoned with. Pray your God is more merciful than I.
With the Sec defeated, peace once again returned to the kingdom. History would record the names of those brave heroes that drove the Sec back to the hell from which they had crawled. A hell they would never return from again. Though victory was ours, and nary a vile creature would show itself for many years, the story does not end here. there was a new plan being devised. An evil plot that would once again plunge the kingdom into war.